This is a timeline of Indian history, comprising important legal and territorial changes and political events in India and its predecessor states. To read about the background to these events, see History of India. See also the List of Governors-General of India, List of Prime Ministers of India and Years in India. Pre-19th century BC. 90th century BC, 75th century BC, 70th century BC. 40th century BC, 37th century BC, 35th century BC. 27th century BC, 26th century BC, 25th century BC, 24th century BC, 23rd century BC, 22nd century BC. 19th century BC, 18th century BC, 17th century BC, 16th century BC, 15th century BC, 13th century BC, 12th century BC, 11th century BC. 10th century BC, 9th century BC, 8th century BC, 7th century BC, 6th century BC, 5th century BC, 4th century BC, 3rd century BC, 2nd century BC, 1st century BC. 1st century, 3rd century, 4th century, 5th century, 6th century, 7th century, 8th century, 9th century, 10th century. 11th century, 12th century, 13th century, 14th century, 15th century, 16th century, 17th century, 18th century, 19th century, 20th century. 21st century, see also, Timeline of Mumbai history, Timeline of Ahmedabad, Chronology of Tamil history, Timeline of Buddhism, Timeline of Ayurveda history, Timeline of Jainism, Sikh Gurus, History of Cricket, Hindu units of time, Tamil units of measurement, references. External links, BBC India Timeline.